All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of the Cypress training series organized by Quality Techies. I hope you had a wonderful time with the last class, and I hope you've been able to get yourself put yourself to speed. Today, we have um, one of our tech gurus, um, in the person of Mr. Ridwan Abdulazeez. Is the founder of Korrett Tech. So you'll be taking us through another journey in Cypress today. So our focus for today will be page object model. Last week, we were introduced into page object model. So today, we'll be uh, dwelling on that and exploring that that aspect. So also, we get to learn more about inspecting elements, handling file uploads, and the likes. So with a loud ovation, with your different emojis, I want you to make welcome Mr. Abdulaziz. He has been into tech for over a decade now. So I want to really assure you that you have the best of hands handling this Cypress training. So Mr. Ridwan, and thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Let me turn on my video. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ridwan Abdulazeez, as Adenika has mentioned, right? So for today's class, so she, there's a, so we are supposed to work on sign up and try to sign up that requires you to get an OTP, right? But so in between, I've been working on something for QAs in the last few months, right? There's a lot of times we at this juncture where we want to learn about automation and stuff, right? We get stuck trying to use some platforms that's what I say complex or not quite rich enough, right? So I've been working on something for QAs generally. Just a moment, please. So I've been working on something for QAs. So it's called a QA Arena. So on this QA Arena, right? So what can you see on my screen currently? Hello?
We are currently seeing your local host 5173, right?
Okay, that's not a share. 1 minute. How about now?
Yes, we are viewing the screen for QA Arena.
Okay. Thank you. So, uh, so like I mentioned, right, I have been trying to build something for QS generally in the last few months, right? So it's going to, so what you've seen me display is so on the app itself, right? It's not fully ready, but some things are already working. So for beginners who want to see how to hunt for bugs, there's a section called the Bug Hunting Arena. So you could see interactive bugs, like things that you see site and stuff like that. You'd also see the functional bugs, right? So when you interact with the application, you'll be able to see these bugs, right? So but that's not this section we want to work on. The section we want to work on is the test automation arena. So for the test automation arena, right? So I have been able to come up with some simulators. So for our authentication simulator, that's where we are supposed to work on. But I am in this situation that your developers would always say, it is working on my local, it is not working on production. So we might want to skip the authentication simulator because the major thing we want to do, we actually want to, so when you register and uh, an OTP is going to be sent to you, or you could select either an OTP or you select authorization token. So whichever one you want to select, right? So when that email gets to your email box, you want to go ahead to go and retrieve that email, that token or the authorization token to proceed to verifying our accounts. So that functionality is not working currently. Do you want us to use my local to do the test before the end of the day? I would try to resolve the issue I'm having with the email sending, right? So that you can try. Or we should take on another simulator. So I have different simulators, right? I have e-commerce simulator, or you can add items to cart and stuff like that. We also have the school management simulator. We have an ATM simulator. We have a funds transfer simulator. So which one do you want us to go with?
Please unmute and let us know.
So I'm in the space of your developers currently, where to say it's working on my local, it's not working on production. So let's decide.
Adeshola Olubanji, Olabanji, I need you to respond.
If someone is talking, maybe we should go on with other simulators then.
Good morning. Is it
Good
afternoon?
morning.
Sorry.
It's afternoon already.
All right. Sincerely, I'm lost. I didn't really understand the.
Okay, so I was saying that what we wanted to do today wanted to try to do a sign up, right? So when you sign up on the application, you get an email is being sent to you as an OTP. We want to go to your email, extract the OTP, and bring it back to the application, then proceed with it, right? So, but okay, don't worry. Let's. So maybe I'll try to sort it out today, right? Then tomorrow we would take on that application simulator. So I would have sorted out the issues, right? So like I mentioned, because this is built solely for software testers, it's built by a software tester for software testers, right? The things that will cause you problem when you are testing has been resolved. And so it goes back to some of the things that when you want to automate for an organization, there are conversations that is very much needed, right? So for you to have an application that would work and you'd have very less flakiness, right? We need to have an agreement. So when you want to automate, it's not that they will bring you to say, oh, come and automate, and the developers are on a different realm while you are on a different realm. You guys need to have a sync, right? So this sync starts from the kind of locators that you are being given. So based on experience, I've worked on a project that every time they deploy the application to production, from dev to staging, from staging to whatsoever environment, the locators changes. So when those things happen, right, your automation will start failing. And I'm sure for some of us, if not all of us here, you have been seeing a trend happening currently where they call some things, right? So for this is that you necessarily don't need the locator. So when the locator changes, it just goes ahead to filling. So just to ensure that our automation into issue and we get to fix these issues, or some for us to know when things have changed, right? So there are now questions around using self-healing methods because for most of these self-healing methods, all you just need to do is it's more like using an AI prompt. You tell the prompt to say, okay, inputs, look for username, look for email address, blah, blah, blah. Input the email, input the password. And so anytime, so far it sees anything, at times it might not even be the username. It just sees that there's an input field. So at the moment, right, most of these self-healing tools are not yet matured, right? But I'm very sure in the next few months we will be seeing a lot of these things. We'll be seeing a whole lot of it. So let's just get prepared. So, and one of the things that usually differentiates our skill set as automation engineers is our ability to get the right locators and use them. believe me that when I tell you that at times you can't be looking for a locator for 1 hour, you can be looking for a locator for the next 2 hours without finding it. It's not something that is just easy to come by at times for some applications, right? So which now requires you to have extra skill sets on how to look for locators. I know you guys have started some things last week, but let me ask, do you know how to use your console to look for locators? Do you know how to use console to search for locators?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do that.
you can do that using your console, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. So, so let's proceed, right? So most of what we'll be doing today would do more of page object models. So for this page object model, let me drop a caveat, right? The way and manner that we do page object model differs from each other. You get to you see some people's code, they do a lot of exports, export functions, right? For their using JavaScript. And some people are comfortable using JSON files for their page object models. So when you use JSON files for your page object models, it helps you streamline all of these these dots, that, this dot, this dot. So all of these things. So I'm going to dive into it in the next few minutes, right? So, but since you guys already mentioned that you can use your console to search for locators, that's absolutely fine. So the next thing we would also touch more on are how to create Cypress commands. So these Cypress commands would help us cut down repetitive tasks, right? So without wasting much of our time, let's dig right into it. So also, I have this philosophy that there is no award or there's no certificate for Usopp or pass. There are tools out there that a lot of people have worked on that are there to uh help you improve on the work, right? They help you improve on the work, they help makes life better, right? So when you come across those tools, try as much as possible to learn about them, right? Learn about them, try to see how you can put them to use. So imagine I was in an interview room with someone sometimes this week, and I was like, me, I don't use AI tools, so I don't like them at all. But believe you me, you have to unlearn, relearn, and learn over and over again in digital. So let's uh let's get started. So this is the application we'll be using. It's called QA Arena. So we would be coming to test automation arena, right? So let's pick funds transfer, or we could use the ATM simulator. So I think so. By now, I believe every one of us on this call should know how to create a Cypress project already. Do we all know how to create our Cypress project already? Everyone, okay, that's fine. So, Adishola, your video is on. So, share this. So what can you see on my screen? What can you see on my screen?
Your editor.
Editor.
Oh, okay. That's not to be sure.
Sorry, the site you are using, is it like a dummy site or a real
It's a dummy site, so it's something I built for QA. So if you want to do your automation, you can always jump on it. So I'll be launching it out in probably before December, right? So I'm just putting one or two more touches. So it's something I built. It's an open source project for QA. So it's for you guys. So feel free to reach out. Whatever you see that's not done right, feel free. This is our own. So the likes of Orange, HRM, the power banks are not ours. So this one is from us to us. So in between, I'll be asking questions, right? What's the reason why we do npm in it? So I need to validate the knowledge of of my students, right? So what's the essence of we doing an npm in it?
I think it's to install some packages and dependency that are specifically for Cypress projects.
Yeah, but that's not all. Believe you me, these are interview questions. I could tell you that at least in this week, I've had to ask not less than 3 or 4 people these questions. What's the essence of our npm units?
I think when you are trying to create a new project,
Okay.
you need to use npm init to actually have all the packages that you can use for that project before to initiate them.
So we call this npm init is npm initialize, right? We are initial. So npm is our node package modules, right? That's the full meaning of npm, right? So we use our npm init to initialize, to tell the application that what I want to do is a node application. It's node based. So it's just like when you have an HTML file, you immediately get to the browser recognizes it that, oh, this is what I recognize. So you are telling the application that this application I want to build is a node-based application. So now, okay, what's the difference between our package.json and our package.json log?
Please come again. Sorry.
The difference between our package.json and our package.json log. I think my audio has moved from one place to another. Just 1 minute. Sorry. One minute. Hello. Can someone speak, please?
Hello?
One moment. think my audio switched. Okay, yeah, can you speak? So I'm asking, what's the difference between our package.json and our package.json log?
So JSON logs.
Yes.
A package.json is when you are working on a particular module, and you might likely use JSON, JSON file and other file at the same time. But when you are looking at package or JSON log, that's you are being restricted to that particular JSON file, that you are not going to use any other, package on it. Yes.
No. So our package.json, right? So on our package.json, we make mention of, okay, it is going to, so you would see, let's, I'm going to, so when you see this, right, you can still see my full screen, right? So one moment, I want to do this text, text. So when you see this, npm I, or let me say npm install Cypress, right? Save there. npm I minus D Cypress. What's the difference between these two? I'll still take you back to where I'm coming from, so don't worry. What's the difference between these two? Who can tell me?
I don't know about the second one, but I think I have idea about the first one.
Okay, what do you know about the first one?
Okay, the first one is like for each project you are installing packages related to Cypress, which is like a development mode. It means that every package that comes with this project is for just this project.
Okay.
So someone that have access to it can also make use of it. So by default, when they're having access to it, all the package related to that project is what they will also be able to make use of.
So what's the difference between this and this?
If you are using the second one, which is the IPM install, I think that one is global.
Okay.
It's not pertaining to a specific project, just like the.
Okay. So that's right. So this, right? These two things are the same thing. So the npm I-D is also this guy. Save there. Now, I would ask another interested query. So this is install Cypress. So package.json, right? So now we have npm ID, and so why we came here at first was because we wanted to what's the difference between this and npm CI? What's the difference between npm I and npm CI? Anyone? npm I is npm install, and npm CI is npm clean install. There's a difference between the two of them. So this is why you would wonder that why am I asking these questions, right? Is because of these differences. So when you do npm I, right? When you do npm I, so a lot of times when you have to, when your project is on, what's it called? If your project is on a pipeline, right? That's a lot of times you see people use this npm npm I, right? Or probably you got a project, you clone the project locally, right? You see use this guy to install your node modules and other dependencies. But your npm CI is clean install. So when you are doing npm I, right, it installs all the dependencies listed in your package.json. Installs it. But for npm CI, right, it installs only what is in your package log.json. So it doesn't modify your package log.json. So what it does is that it installs only what is in your package log.json. Because you know in your package log.json, right? All of the dependencies of your package are actually stored in that package.json log, right? So your package, your CI is strict. So when it sees an issue, right, it doesn't install. For your clean install, it doesn't install. Or if it's npm high, if it sees an issue with the dependencies you have, it will try to install something else, like probably a newer version. Do you understand? So that's the difference. So this would now make you understand why I was asking what's the difference between your package.json and your package log.json. So without further ado, let's get started. npm init. So I don't want to bother my head with all of this. I just npm init I. So when I do my npm init I have all of these guys come by default, right? So and then I'll proceed to say just a moment, npm. So we want to install our Cypress locally. Okay, so let's launch our Cypress.
Sorry, please, what is E2E at the point after the
So we are going to end-to-end directly, our end-to-end testing directly. I'll show you, don't worry. I'll show you. So let's try to create a new spec. We'll call this, let's use our ATM simulator. Okay, run my spec. So let me terminate so that you see the difference between the npm. So a lot of times, a lot of people quite familiar with the npm Cypress open. Right. So when you do this, look at the entry points. It's asking you, do you want to do E to E or you want to do components testing, right? Can you see? So, but if I should do Cypress E to E, it goes directly inside the E to E testing. It doesn't go to that point where you select. So nothing special. Because it just came in directly, right? So then I launch, right? So now we need to set up some things in our Cypress config. So in our Cypress config, we are going to be having our base URL. So our base URL is arena.server. So do you know the difference between page timeouts and command timeouts? Who knows the difference between page timeout and command timeout? Have they removed page timeouts? I think that's been removed. So the difference between a page timeout and command timeout is that the page timeout handles how long it takes for your page to actually load, right? While your command timeout is the time it takes for your command. You've issued a click command, you've issued a type command. So that period is the period for your command timeout. But for your page timeout, it's the time it takes for your page to actually load, right? I asked this kind of question, like, what's the difference between a CY.wait and a timeout? Who knows?
CY.wait is a timing that you know that maybe you allocate a particular time, that maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What of timeout?
Timeout is the time that it takes for it to log you. Take for instance, maybe you are on a banking app now, and the software you are using is idle. You are not using it at that particular time. So the time it takes the app to log you out of the app, why is idle?
Odogu. that does not apply here in Cypress. So these things I'm asking you, you'd ask like, why am I asking? These are interview questions, right? So have you ever come across when they say there's something called implicit wait and explicit wait? A lot of times, most times you see people who use Selenium talk about implicit wait, explicit wait. I'm sure you're not familiar with it. So implicit wait is that this is a wait period that you wait patiently for an action or something to happen before you take an action. Something must have happened before you take an action. But for explicit wait, you'd wait for that time. Now, let me give you a practical example. I ordered an Uber ride and it gets to me in 5 minutes. Immediately it gets here, I board the car, right? That is an implicit wait. Immediately it gets here. Even though on the app, it shows me 5 minutes, but it got here in 2 minutes. Immediately I see him, I bought the bus, the car. But explicit wait is that I must wait for 5 minutes. Even though I've seen the car, I would not enter the car until after 5 minutes. That is an explicit wait. So your cy.wait is an example of an explicit wait, while your timeout is an example of your implicit wait. So a lot of times, these things, people who do Selenium will always use implicit wait, explicit wait because it's a command. So, but in Cypress, instead of saying, oh, your cy.wait, so you would see what I mean now. So let me reduce this guy to 1 second because I expect that this guy should fail. So I would use this to explain to you what I mean now. I hope my explanation hope you understand my explanation.
I won't mind if you can come again with it.
You wait for an action, you wait for something to happen before you take an action. You wait. Immediately you see that thing, action happens. I said you ordered a cab, right? When the cab gets here, on the app, it tells you that you have to wait for 5 minutes. But the cab gets here in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you see the cab, you enter the cab, and you move. But when it is explicit wait, you must wait for that 5 minutes. If it's not up to 5 minutes, the car would not open for you, or the driver would not open the car for you until that 5 minutes has elapsed. That is an explicit wait. So a lot of times you see people say implicit wait, explicit wait, right? So that's about that. So, okay, I need to change this guy.
So how about the command timeout and
I'll show you to you now, don't worry. So because we've declared our base URL, I'll do this, right? So let's dig in. Okay, because this is I'll do this. Let me stop this guy. I want this guy to fail so that I will show you what I need to show you. So when it fails, you would now understand the difference between both of them. This guy is really fast. Wait. What I did was, sorry. I was supposed to do a default page timeout. Default page timeout. To branch. Default page timeout to branch. I want to change this to something very small that would make my application fail. Still working. Okay, let's do this. Don't worry. In course of this, and I'll show it to you. Don't worry. So now we are on. I'll show it to you. So we are on our home page now. So I guess you guys know how to set your port height, port width, viewport height, and viewport width. So because looking at this, I'm having a feel like, oh, is this a browser look or it's more like a tablet view? So with your viewport height, you can actually make your application go into a mobile view. You could put it in a tablet view, and so because at times you'd get people complain to say, okay, I'm having issue on this kind of device, right? So that's where we start using what's it called? Our viewport height and viewport width. So in this case, right, we want to go back to our dashboard. So hope my screen is not too tiny. I need to be sure that hope my screen is not too tiny. Are you guys able to see my screen properly? Feedbacks, please.
It's okay now. I think it's
Okay. Okay. So from our home page, we have test automation arena. We right click and inspect. All right. So because this guy is unique, I could decide to use this guy. So what are we testing for? We want to go to launch the ATM simulator. So when we've got into our home page, we'll do what? So now we want to click on the text. So when we want to click on text, we'll use cy.contains, right? Then we pass in our text that we want to click on, right? Then we say dot click, right? So let's see what's happening on our application. It's already doing what we needed to do. So let's try to do this so that you'll be seeing what is happening in almost real time with what we are doing from the application, right? So okay. Okay. Let me collapse this guy a bit small so that you can see what's happening. So we have, so now if I should put a weight here, a cy.wait, right? I wait for 5 seconds. So I would specifically until 5 seconds elapse before I proceed to the next thing. Do you understand? If 5 seconds does not elapse, I will not click. That's when you use a cy.wait. So I'll show you how you can make use of your timeouts, right? So a lot of times we use timeout to avoid flakiness within an application, right? So most of our commands, immediately after the command, all you need to issue as a command is a comma. Then you have a curly brackets, put your timeout, and you put the timeout time. So actually, I don't need this weights, right? So let me take it out. So we've gotten to our page. Now we want to go to the ATM simulator. So on our ATM simulator, we right click and we inspect. So, like I said, that this website belongs to us, right? It's something I'm building myself, right? So you could see that if you read through, say practice Cypress, blah, 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 every element is tagged with a data CY locator. So this kind of agreement, you need to have this kind of agreement when you are doing an automation in an organization. Have an agreement with the developers. that this is the locator I want. So even if you go to cypress.com, what's it called, documentation, you see that they use the CY, the data CY to specifically name locators, and at times they use data test ID also. So if you go to cypress.com, so when I put that data CY, so it's not like, oh, I just brought it from my head, right? So it's part of the, what's it called? We call it best practices. So while that is going on, so we wouldn't take much of our time. So let's proceed. So here now we have seen. So now let's go to simulator, ATM simulator. So on our ATM simulator, I would right click and inspect. Right. So you could see there's a data CY, right? Can you see this, please? Are you able to see this on my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll copy this guy. So whenever, okay, don't worry, don't let me talk first. So let's run into the problem before I talk about it. Right. So now I'll do a cy.get. Right. Then I'll pull this guy. Let me see. I'm using this, Then I'll see dot click. So you could see this message, unrecognized expression, because data CY is not known by Cypress, by your DOM, just like that. So you need to put it in a squared bracket, right? So this guy, I would do this. I'll put it into a squared bracket, right? Then let's see. Let's see, right? Yeah. So it is expecting to find this guy, but it did not find it. Yeah, I think so because I reduced. So, I told you I wanted to actually create a problem, right? Look at this time here, 1000. That is my timeout, right? So before I would fix this issue, right? I want you to see the problem. So here now, let's so I would say what? Timeout. Timeout as 10,000 seconds. Let's try that. No, is it still complaining? I can't find it. Let's see why. Okay. Let me close this down. No, you got to be kidding me. So from the arena, right, we move on to the simulator. Let me go back to this guy to be sure. Inspect. Yeah. Mhm. Mm, That's not possible. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So so a lot of times you need to know how to troubleshoot. So let's go to our console, right? So we are on the page here. Let's do this. Document dot query selector. Are you serious right now? Said no, that's not possible. That's not possible. But we got this guy from here. Let me do this. Documents, query selector. Okay, we found this guy. Okay, so let me change this guy to this. Okay, okay.
Sorry, is there a way you
So
can go back and show us how you are able to detect it again? Sorry.
okay, so I did an inspect, right? So from my inspects, you could see that I have this guy. So inspects. So this is my data CY.
Hmm?
So all I just needed to do was copy this guy out. So I'm sure that this guy is
What were you
available.
copying before?
So that's I'm even,
No. Okay.
let me paste it out here. So I'm seeing the arena dashboard simulator title ATM. So see so documents the query selector, right? So this was what I was typing before. So apparently it's not on the page. So I'm wondering where I saw that from, right? So, but let's proceed. So now I have this data CY, right? So I've clicked on the simulator. So requesting I input my default pin, which is 1234, right? So I would try to inspect this guy, right? So you could see it also has its own data CY key. So we'll proceed to say either we, so there are two ways we can go about this. We say cy.get, right? We would pull this guy, we'll click, dot click, then we'll say cy.get, let's pick the second, number 2, but I'm sure it's going to follow in that order. It's going to follow in that order. So this guy should be 2 dot click. So let's see what's happening. And this guy said, oops, can't recognize this guy. So I need to put it in a square brackets. Let's put this in a square brackets. Put this in a square brackets. Okay, so we have, let's see. So we have been able to click on 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So now we need to click on our enter button, right? So I'll click on this guy. So our enter key is this. So we're about getting into the bit. We'll start writing Cypress commands to remove wastes, right? So let's see this again, right? So we could see us go from 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And we click on enter. Right, when we click on enter, then we could see we got to this select transactions page. So we would have people to say, okay, we want to now validate that there was something called select, or we can assert this guy, right? So we say we ensure that cy dot contains what? Contains this text. So that means we have successfully gotten to that page, right? So now we've done this. We are on so we can now proceed to say we want to check our balance. So before we do all of this, immediately you are working on a Cypress project, you see something like this that looks like a pattern. They are repetitive. It's not once, it's repetitive. It would not make sense for you to do it repeatedly, right? So you'd need to learn how to write clean Cypress commands, right? That would help you remove these wastes. And this gets cumbersome when you are building a framework or you're working on an application that is very large. Now, let's get to the page update model bit. So, I mentioned that we have different ways. So I would not say, oh, what this person had done is wrong. What this other person is, no. So what works best for you? I like easy life. I don't like the hard life. I like easy life. So I go with the easy life. So, because I believe most of us know how a JSON looks like. Do we all understand the folder structure in Cypress? Do we all understand folder structures in Cypress?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys know it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So I'll create a fixture file called elementlocators.json. So in this element, so in a JSON file, a JSON gets started like this, right? Comes with curly brackets. So now, because I said I want to do page object model, right? I started from the home page, right? So if I have to do any other thing on this home page, from this home page, right? It is right that I have multiple, I could say I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So what I'll do is that for everything within my own page, I'll call it home page. Home page, right? So inside my home page, I now have what I want to click on. So in this guy, I have what a test automation arena, right? So you will see that my what's it called? My co-pilot is typing most likely what I need to type, but so let me paste what I've copied it before, right? Test automation arena, right? That's the only thing I'm interacting with currently. So after my home page, right, I came to the arenas page. So let me call this guy arena page. Arena page. So on this arena page, I have my ATM simulator locator. All this ATM simulator locator or elements, whatever it is that works well for you. So, but let us always try to use something that people will be able to relate with, right? So I would not go further. I'm going to take a pause here on something. So, because there's something else I want to do, right? There's something else I want to do, right? Okay, there's something else I want to do. So now you could see that this guy, I actually had to practically like put each of the locators line by line, line by line, line by line. So now for modularity, because when we discuss OOP, right, we'll be discussing, I know Sawale mentioned all of these things to you guys last week and upper week. We discussed OOP, encapsulation, polymorphism, best code practice, right? So things that are reusable, build a function for it. You don't need to, like I said, there's no stupid for Usofa pass, soft life. That's my own kind of life, right? So now, this guy, I have put it into a locator, right, in my fixtures file. So for me to reference this guy, so it is best that I do it before. So we have a before each. So when we do it before each, it means that every of your code blocks, your it blocks like this, for every time every one of them wants to start up, when you do it before each, it's going to go through them one by one. But if you do it before everything, or you also have the after and the after each also, right? So that's how these things work. So let's proceed. So now that I am here, so I want to create a before statement, right? So this template spec, we need to give it, so let's call this guy ATM simulator, right? So that's what you see here now, right? This ATM simulator. So here we said our test is for us to launch the ATM simulator, right? So now here we want to do our before. So before, so inside our before statement, we have this guy. I'm sure you guys have been taught what's it called? How to write functions, right? So now we have my fixtures file, right? CY of fixture. So the element locators is my fixture file. right? Then I call this guy, so let me just call the guy locator, right? So everything that is coming from here, I'm now calling it what? Locator. So now, but you could see that there are different sections, there are different segments inside this guy. So what I would do is that I would, so let me do a let statement, I want to put a variable, let's home page. I'll say let's arena page, let's ATM simulator page. Right, so all of these things I'm doing now, right? So I have home page. So this home page that I've declared here, right? Home page is equals to what? Our locator here, locator dot what? I would come here. This guy, I would call this guy dot home page. For my arena page, just the same way, arena page equals to locator dot arena page. Our ATM simulator page, ATM simulator page equals to locator dot ATM simulator page. So now, why am I calling these guys? Because I want my code to be clean, neat, and if there is any change, right, all I need to do is just come to my JSON file, edit my JSON, and I'm good to go. So now let me proceed from here. So in my cy.contains, right, you see this text here, I have created it here called test automation arena. Okay, let me call this guy test automation arena text. Right, you know that, okay, that is what it is, right? Inside, instead of calling this guy, I'll now say home page dot, it still worked, right? Home page dot. So if I want to change this guy, all I need to do is I will just come here and I change this. Let's see if my code will still work. Can you see where it's picking from? It's not looking for what does not exist. Do you understand? So the reason why we are to know the concept of doing OOP, doing page object model, is that we need to know the why. We need to know the how. So knowing the why and knowing the how would help you do what? Do better. So I would take this guy out now, then try to refresh. So I just want you to know that it is actually picking from that part. So now, which one do you think is, let me expand this guy. Which one do you think is better in managing your page elements like this or this? Which one is better? Let me hear from you guys. Which one is better? Are you guys even following me? I hope I'm not speaking to myself. Are you guys here?
Yes, boss.
So which one is better?
I think warehousing them is better, where you can easily go there, identify the area you need to edit and just do it. Then you come back on your page.
So, in this case now, if there is any change that happens, you don't need to touch your spec file. All you need to do is just go to that guy, right? So you don't need to touch your spec file, Samsung, at all. You don't need to touch your spec file. So because your locator is somewhere. So all I need is, because it is even in a readable format, right? You are able to know that, oh, this locator is for home page. This one is existing on this page. So now we are going to get to where it starts getting more interesting. So, I have already done this, right? ATM simulator page, right? So for this guy, we would come here. So, and a lot of times you should be nice to whoever is coming to take over from you to put comments, right? So you write a comment, click on text automation arena on the home page. So with this, anybody that sees this code is already knowing what, right? So now for this guy, we would change this guy to, so this guy is on our arena page dot ATM simulator. So let's see if our beans is still working or not. It's still working, right? Now, I said that we don't want to be doing laborers' work. We need to work smart and work better. Now, these guys, I could see data CY, data CY, data CY. We've agreed, me and my developer, we've agreed that we'll be using data CY to pick all our locators. Why do I have to now continue to mention it? It now gives birth to now saying that we want to write a custom command. Now, let us go to our commands folder, right? In our commands folder, we'll say Cypress dot commands dot add. What are we adding? We want to add get element by CY. Let's put it like that so I won't be too long. Then we'll call, what are we getting? We are getting our locators. But let me say, okay, let me call it locator so that it's something that you would understand. So there is what we call arguments. So apart from the fact that I have said cy.get my locator, I could pass arguments like timeout. I could pass something like should exist and all of those things. So those other things I'm adding are called arguments. So I want my locators to also have what? Arguments. So to declare my argument, I'll call it like this. Right, then I will do this. Arguments. Right, then I will do this. Then function. So now for my get element by CY, right? So what do I need to do? I'll now say return what? Return. So what we want to actually do is our cy.get, right? In our cy.get, we are going to be passing our data cy. So we already have a structure. Data cy, right? We'll say equals to what? Our locator. So when we do this, right? So our CY locator, then we pass what? The argument. So now, instead of me writing all of this gibberish here, okay, first thing, let me take this out so that you see that some things would fail if not done right. So it's looking for my ATM simulator text locator, but it could not. Because why? My application is still referencing a get. So now that I've created a custom command, I would now say get elements by CY. Okay, something is wrong with my command. Something is wrong with my command. It's supposed to be here. So this locator should be within a curly bracket. So you could see that now it has been able to. So you would see from here now that I've removed all of those data CY, blah, blah, blah. I've taken it out. I've moved it out outrightly because I've written a custom command to perform this action. So, and there are times that your developers you could agree on two locators. So even if you check on Cypress documentations, right, you see they use data CY, they use data test ID. So I can actually select both data CY and select data test ID as a goal. So all I need to do is that, so you could, even your get statements. So for example, you are not sure, you want to try either this or this, right? This or this. So in your cy.get, you could also put a comma in between. So it's search for two locators for you at a time. So all I need to do here now is I'll say this, then I'll say data test ID, right? Equals my locator. What's going on here? So my locator. So either it sees data test ID or it sees data CY. Either one works fine, right? So I've created a custom command for my cy.get element, right? Who has questions? Because I'm about going deeper into simplifying my code more. Who has questions before I proceed? Okay, please.
Sorry, can we go back to ATM simulator? That's the main.
The application itself?
No, not here. In the code, the main code.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Up there, ATM simulator.
Okay.
Under E2 here. So my question is that you are able to simplify the code by writing cy.get element by cy.
By CY,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. So where are we putting cy.get data key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4?
So we would now, so this one's now. So the reason why I wrote this first is because I want us to clean that code. So because I don't want to be doing laborer's work all through, right? So that's why I just stopped here, right? So
Does
this,
it mean that the two work together?
The what?
It doesn't mean that these two code, do they work together? CY
Yeah,
dot
so
get element and
if you are going to use cy.get, right, you
yeah.
have to write all these things. You need to write all of these guys to say, I am doing this. Do you understand?
Mm.
So, but if I don't want all of these guys, I only want to pass in the ATM key 1, ATM key 2, ATM key 3, ATM key 4. That's the only thing I need to pass, right? That is when I would use the get element by CY. Because why? The get element by CY already recognize all of these up to this moment and here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It recognizes from here to here and recognize from here to here. So the only thing that it's now looking for is just this guy.
Okay, yeah.
So now let us now clean this code. So for us to clean this code now, we'll go to our fixtures file, right? Our element locators file. Then we'll now start writing ATM key 1, key locator 1, . So we have key 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then we have it like this. Let me be sure. Now, I would change from my steps now to say, what am I getting? I want to get my ATM simulator page dot what? I will now come here. ATM key 1 locator, right? ATM key 1 locator. Then, so now I'll be using my get elements by CY to get everything. Get element by CY. So let's see if our code refused to run or not. Everything is still working. So that get element by CY that we did, right? You see here that it's saying it's trying to get either data CY, right? Or data test ID. So like I mentioned that it helps you to, if there's an agreement to say, okay, we want to use ID, we want to use name, you can combine all these things together. So all you are passing to that guy is just that thing. It's not that you'll be doing, you would write one code for this one separate, you write code for that one separate. Just based on the agreement, everything together, you just pass it once and you're good to go. Any more questions before we proceed?
Okay, I think I have one question from my hand here.
Okay.
Because actually before, I never know you can actually do something like this on a JSON file. My assumption was it's only data that a JSON file can contain and not all these elements.
So this one is a data. This one is a data. The data.
Okay,
The
so
data.
my other question is all these gets element by CY method that we just defined.
Roots,
Is there a
yeah.
way we can actually go to it from here? Like I know in some other ID like Visual Studio, we have something like go to definition whereby it will just take you there straight up. So I don't know if we can do the same thing here
Yeah,
instead of
that's what I've just done. So you just click, hold your, sorry, I'm using a Mac, but I think control key on your, what's it called? So when you click on your command key, then click on get element by CY. It tells you where it was being created from, the reference.
okay, on Windows because I was trying to do the same thing. I'm just seeing different options like go to definition, go to different options, which was not working for me.
So that's So I don't use a Windows, sorry, but by mail command key will take us to where we want to be.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Is anybody confused? If you are confused, please let us know. Okay, now that is already saying Windows control. I think. So I don't use the Windows, so I really would not know. Any confusion yet? I think it's only two people that are in this class. So every other person, Rashid, Ezekiel, iPhone, even though we don't know the kind of iPhone it is. Amen. Are you guys here?
Then I want to ask, I think the code, yes, they are repetitive. That means you can still reuse it for other tests. Is it possible?
Yes. So if you get to a page that's so it's just that for code readability, right? You want to ensure that the what's it called? Your code is clean. iPhone user, we can see that you are here now. Don't worry, we can see you are here now. So we want to ensure that our users, anybody that picks up our code, is able to understand it. Because now, if you need the same guy on another page, and you now say ATM simulator page dot this guy, right? It now becomes an issue for whoever is trying to read your code to understand. I don't know if you understand. So it's
Definitely.
reusable. It's
Yeah,
reusable, but
definitely.
it is
I'm not
not
going to
clean enough.
use, yeah, I'm not going
It is not
to
clean.
use the same way, the syntax, the naming syntax that you put like ATM simulator. It might be something different in
Yeah,
another.
it's reusable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
reusable.
So that's
But it's
just
just that I'm just saying that except if it is similar, like it won't cause confusion for the next person that wants to read your code. It's
yeah.
all good. It's reusable. So so you mentioned we have to do advanced handling of pop-ups and uh file uploads. So I actually do not have a site now for that. But so the first this thing that we need to get our hands on the most are these very basics the of uh writing clean codes, right? So for every other thing, right? Okay, I think for so and you know that on your Cypress, most of the commands that you would ever need are actually there. Do you know? Do you know?
Not really.
So you see this guy, right? You see, I just created a new file, a new spec, right? So in this new spec, if you should come here, let's go to our to-do. You'd see any kind of let me come here, let me see advanced examples. Want to do file upload and stuff. Want to check out different actions, right? You could see any form of action you want to So, but a lot of times we don't like looking at these things. That's why we would run into issues, right? You want to type into a DOM element, right? You see absolutely everything. As an example, you see absolutely everything you want to do, everything. The kind of actions you want to type, you want to use the arrow functions, all of the kind of actions you can think of. You want to delete text, everything, you can have it. You have it on your Cypress example spec file. Everything, absolutely everything. You want to press shift key, you want to type slowly, right? Everything, you have it. A lot of time people don't look at these parts. I want to right click on a document. I want to do this. Everything is there. So if you go to your code now, you'll see that it must have populated all of those guys for you. So come to iPhone. Please help us clean this writing that you have. We can see you are here, so help us clean these things you wrote on. So you could see, right, we have different commands that you are looking for a particular text should have a text. This should do what? Walk the dog. It should do what? So you could see what, like I mentioned, Cypress is using data tests, right? So it depends on what you've agreed on with your team, right? We have this. So you should have a text. The text must be of what length. So these things, right? You need to be able to take your time, right, to go through them because there are a whole lot, but there are some that we use on a day-to-day. There are some we don't use on a day-to-day. And the funny thing is that the explanation to all of these things are there. You could see the explanation. So when you want to do advanced actions, like you want to type, you should have a value. So all of this one now is a type function. You are clicking on left arrow, you are clicking on the right arrow, you are clicking on up arrow key, down arrow key. All of these things, they exist. And the funny thing is that they are examples already embedded in your Cypress. Do you understand? So you want to type slowly. I want to make it delay so that you can type sluggishly so that probably the user can see. Help yourself. Just say, oh, when you're typing, or put a delay of so time. You want to ensure that it has a particular value. Put it there. You want to ensure that it is disabled. When it's disabled, you want to first click. There's something called a false true, right? So all of these things, they exist. You want to put assertions, you want to find it there, should have a class. All these things, we can run through all of these things, but they are there for you already in your Cypress example spec files. Some of these things, you might write Cypress for the next 5 years, you might not have to use them. But if you need them for file uploads, right? Think but now I should have gotten you guys. So you could actually write to a file, right? You could write to a file. You could. So I asked someone this question in an interview this week, and the person didn't get it right. So All of these things, they are there for you. So you see why the write file, you want to write to a file. So these things are there for consumption, but a lot of times you don't look at it. So we need to do better. So, I mentioned about the viewports, right? So you could see, you could actually even specify a particular kind of device you want to use for your testing. So you just say, see where the viewports, you set the screen size, then you proceed with your test. So, do we have questions? Do we have questions? So basically, what I'll try to work on this authentication simulator so that we can create a sign up. When we do the sign up, right, we can get the email, fetch the email, fetch the OTP from our email, and proceed with we sign up. Then with that, I would also introduce us to how to use GitHub Actions, right? How to use GitHub Actions when when you push your code to the repo, how you make it run on the pipeline, and probably we'll just try what's it called? Reporter also to be able to see our report, because when you're running these things, you should also have a report. So I'll take a pause here. Who has a question for me?
Yeah, Mr. Ridwan, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead,
So
please.
I noticed during our test, just like you mentioned, that it's a communication between the tester and developer for them to be able to put a unique element for each element on the page. In a situation whereby I just pick up a random application and I want to test, and there is no unique element like the data CY or the data set. It's only the experts, the ID, and other types of locator they have. How can I integrate such into a Cypress project to locate those elements?
Yeah, so that's so at the beginning of the class, right? So I was asking this, okay, do you know how to your work, right? Irrespective of they've given me what's it called? They've given me the we've agreed or we've not agreed, whatsoever it is. Your primary work doing automation is to know how to select locators properly. And it goes beyond you seeing it. At times you need tools like selectors. I think I have one here. Select Ranorex, Celosity, Selectors Orb, the likes of them. But one of the ones that you would want to know out that you need a lot when the goal gets tougher, you need to know how to use your console to pick, because at times you would need to build the locator for yourself. May God don't let you have to test an application that the developer is a junior developer or just decide to frustrate your life, where almost all the what's it called? Almost all the locators are malformed. You would now want to start doing things that Cypress does not really like, which is looking at relying on experts to click on your locators. I think I've only had to use experts once on a project that the developer wanted to kill me. But I think since then I never had to use expert again, because you now need to go and install an expert extension for you to be able to use experts. So do you
Okay.
understand? So
Yeah.
you have to select by yourself one. They say heaven help those who help themselves. So you have to you have to help yourself out. Nobody's coming, especially when it's a random site. So you don't have the developers contacts now. So there's no how you tell them that okay. So you just need to know that okay, on this application, most likely I would need to do a lot of get statements. I would need to do a lot of click. So you could write your click statement. You could, so let's say, okay, let's do this. Let me take out these guys. Don't need all these guys. I don't need all these guys. Gosh. So some of the things you would want to do is, I know I'm going to click a lot of times, right? Why should I continue to say click, 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 click? So I can go ahead and say, okay, I want to do my Cypress dot commands dot add. I'll call it click elements by, okay, let me see, keep my by CY. Right. So when I say this guy, I'll do what? I'll do my locator. Right. Inside my locator, I would also pass my arguments. Right. And I'll do this. Am I still on this call? So now I will now say, are you guys still hearing me? Return
Yes.
CY. So all I've been doing before is my CY dot get element, right? So CY dot get elements by CY, right? What am I getting? My locator, my arguments, right? And I would need to do a click. So now, because now this guy now, when I do this, I come down here, I would replace this guy to say, then I will remove this click away. Let us go and see if my code is still working. Still working. So because I know I'll be clicking a lot of times, So why should I always write dot click, dot style, dot, I don't need to do that. So you should understand. So the basics is having, so this bit is where you don't rush, is understanding how something that I would do over and over. Now let me see how I would make life easier for myself. So what you are doing now is that I have recognized a pattern. This pattern from here to here, I would automate it. I would not be doing it every time. So all I just need to do is say, so this guy, I move it out. Bam. This guy, I move it out. This guy, I move it out. So is my code not looking a bit neater? You could see that. Can you see? Can you see that our code is looking a bit more cleaner than when we started?
Yes. But I think line 18 does not require a click because it's just a text we are looking for.
Yes, so we could also write a command for it. Do you understand? You can write a command for it that click contained elements. So, but you need to understand how we started to how we got here. If you don't understand it, then it becomes a problem in writing good custom commands. So you saw we started from baby steps. baby steps. Now we are progressing. If I should open a project, let me see. Okay, maybe after recording, so I wouldn't be showing what I don't want out there. Right. So probably after the class, I could show. Right. So you see that it's not your custom commands is not for small things. Though. It could be as long as 200 lines of code. It could be as long as 500 lines of code. It's just that you don't want to do that same thing over and over. So when you need it, you just call that function and it works. There's also something we need to know. You know, a lot of times you see a lot of people putting sensitive data, sensitive information in that picture file. Then that's where I can keep it. There are ways to manage your elements. There are ways to manage your sensitive data. Create a Cypress environment, then put it inside Cypress environment. Nobody knows it. Only you knows it. When you push to your repo, you put it there as an environment variable. And nobody knows what your code, what's it called? Your sensitive data, like username, password, and stuff. So any other questions? But is our code looking clean? Is it looking neat at all?
Clean and short.
Yeah?
Clean and short.
So that's the essence of page objects. So you could see that if you've seen page object model that you have to export, you would have to write JSON JavaScript files for each of them. You now have to export the page. You call the page, you export the page, you import the page. But you would agree with me that this looks straight and direct. And there are also page object models. So, like I said, so what works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B, right? But me, I like easy life. I don't like the hard life. So, any questions? So, if there are no questions, maybe
I have a question, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm having issue with a selector on the console. But I think the way you select is a bit simpler using selector up, because sometimes I don't even know which one.
So selector all. So there's a difference between selector and selector all.
Selector up.
Selector up. Okay. So for selector up, I think it has been upgraded recently or something, right? That they now have a partnership with Playwright or something. Selector all.
Yeah.
So what issue do you have?
So like, take for instance, maybe we want to select one of these maybe ATM simulator or whatever.
I've clicked on one.
Okay. I don't normally click on inspect anyway. I will just
no. You have to right click and click on inspect so that it picks what you want into that guy for you.
What I used to do is to select the pointer beside elements. You know, that element, then there's a pointer there.
Which one?
In the console here, not here, not on the selector of there. Yeah,
okay, this guy?
Yes, I will select.
Yeah, it also still works, but for me, I want to tell it where I need it to go to.
So once
it
I
also
select
works.
then I keep
looking. But me, I just right click and just say inspect, so it knows where I'm going to.
So sometimes I get confused on which one to now call. Maybe I'm picking class or data, but the way you just put it now, I think it's.
Okay, thank you.
Then another question I have, please.
Okay.
If I need to do another project on the VS Code, how do I start? Do I need to close this down, start another one, or I can create another
No,
file?
so most times if you're using a Mac, right, you might just want to create a new window, then start a new project. Is that not what you're asking?
No, I mean on the VS Code.
Yeah, so you want to start a new project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just right. Click on the new window, you proceed from there too.
Then that means I need to run.
Exactly.
Then I can
With a new
as
project.
well save the previous project I worked.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. If that would be all, I mentioned that do I have the opportunity of stopping the recording? The recording is still happening. Quality techies, are you still there? I'm not sure if she's still here. Because what I want to show is not something I want to
She dropped a
record.
message
Yeah, she needs to leave.
that
Okay.
we can stop recording.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So maybe tomorrow I'll try to show you. Or let me see.
Then I'm going to message you on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I will message you.
Let me try to. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Stop sharing. Okay. I want to show you guys something. I'll just copy out a block of Cypress command I have for a project. So I can see that it's not always that, it's just really long. So just 1 minute, I'll share my screen again. Call this guy the 4 class, okay? Show you the Cypress command I have on the project. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this guy here is a custom command I wrote on a particular project. You see, it's about maybe around 50 lines of code, right? So I'm doing different things inside of it. So because I have some tasks that are repetitive, I would do them over and over. So imagine me writing this thing because in that project, I think I used this like 20 times. So imagine me writing 150 lines of code 20 times. It doesn't make sense. So that's the essence of these Cypress commands. You use it, write it. So all you just need to do is just just call the command, then pass the arguments or that you've or the input that you've stated that you would use, and you're good to go. Thanks a lot, and have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye.